All right, we've been updating on what's going on with Citywell, what our thoughts are, how we're reimagining some different things, and just trying to uh, push theology forward and really figure out what is God calling us to as a church, and it's been small, not large, and we're okay with that. And I'm not trying to beat down on the bigger churches or anything like that. We're just trying to figure this out, also. And recently, I was asking in a group of people like, why why do we meet in the buildings like we do? Why do we have Sunday morning services like we do? And there was a believer there who joined in the conversation who just really got upset with me. We're in America and we can and we should because we can and we should and we can and we should. And I'm like, I I didn't push too hard because I wasn't in the mood to push hard, and I knew I wouldn't be godly if I did. But I I'm still posing that question. A few videos ago, we looked at this model, the discipleship factory, and according to missiologists, the Sunday morning gathering type of come and see model, we can reach about 40%. 40% of society with that. The other 60% are never coming through the doors of our church, but we keep meeting in church and just keep saying, come and see. Why do we worship in buildings like we do on Sunday mornings? And when we go back through history, we see we haven't always. We haven't always. And I've been reading more recently about where this came from. And uh, I didn't ever learn that. So I pulled out my old college textbook, my Christianity Through the Centuries. This was uh, what I used as my Christian history textbook. And looking at Constantine, that's where the start of meeting in buildings came from. There's like one line in here that it just says that Constantine, also uh, had the state provide uh, supplemented the church, and um, the state supplemented the church, and that's a vast understatement of what happened. Constantine basically uh, said, "Here, here, city, build a really, really big building, and that's where the church is going to meet, instead of in all of the homes that it was presently meeting in. And you're going to put a pope over that, or a priest over that, like you're going to have that guy. He's in charge." And he did that in a few different key cities under his control, and he kind of helped say who the guy was. And all of a sudden, you have all the influential cities with one influential leader per city who answers to him. The church consolidated power vastly into a handful of people very quickly. And great theology came out of that season and different things like that, but the church and the state became intertwined, and the start to the building style worship began. And there's been a lot of movements away from that throughout history. Also, Martin Luther argued that we should return to worshiping in homes and longed to see us breaking into homes for worship again. Similarly, John Wesley, during the Great Awakening that he was a part of, during the height of that, the societies were meeting in homes, and then once enough societies were in a community to support a building, that's when they came together. And now we have Methodist churches all over the country that are struggling just to keep their doors open because they became about the building instead of about the mission, where when they were meeting in homes, they were about the mission. Now, I'm not calling for everybody to return to home church. I've still said I believe that the large church model has a place and has people it's going to reach in America. Let's see that continue to happen. But we're saying let's do something different. Also, we're going to meet in homes and parks and wherever we can to bring the mission to the people, to the other 60% who are not going to darken the doors of a church building. How can we bring church to them instead? That's our goal, and that's our mission. So why do we meet in buildings and the big Sunday morning? It's because it's a tradition that's been handed down to us. We do see the early church regularly gathered. We do see they gathered on Sunday mornings. We do see that they worshipped and had that, but we don't necessarily see the building as a priority. And I've been stopping at 5 minutes, but I want to go a little bit longer on this one because I taught for a long time. Acts 2. It says they met house to house and the temple court, or it says temple court and house to house. And I'm like, this is the model we have. We have big church leading to small group, big church leading to small group. Well, the temple courts, that was like a safe building we all come to and worship Jesus. And no, it wasn't. They had just crucified Jesus, and not long after that, they stoned Stephen to death. This was not a safe place. Worshipping in the temple courts was just as missional as it was worshipful for them. They were going to the Jews, consistently worshiping Jesus in front of the Jews. That's mission. And then they're coming back house to house, and that's where they really were gathering. That's where the gatherings really were happening. That's where the discipleship was really happening, and they're inviting people who see them to come back and be part of life with them. But I believe the greatest expression of the church was really happening in the house to house experience at that time. Now, we're going to stop here, and I'm actually going to stop creating the videos here. But if you've had any questions during this, don't be afraid to reach out and let me know, because I'd love to continue to build out what we are thinking and what we're experimenting with and what we're doing. Because I believe God is doing something small, and it's beautiful, and it's okay. Because if you think about it, Jesus and the gospel often start small. Jesus didn't come blasting a trumpet in the clouds. He will. Like, that is coming. But that's not how he came the first time. He came as a baby. Gentle, little, crying baby. I don't care what the Christmas song says. I think he cried. It wasn't a silent night. He came small. Every time his mission started exploding and growing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, Jesus said crazy stuff. He just yells out in the crowds, "If you don't eat my flesh and drink my blood, you have no place with me." And it says many turned away. Many turned back when he says crazy stuff like that. Jesus wasn't about church growth processes. It was about discipleship and seeing people taking steps forward, and he was okay with being small. It's beautiful. It's different. It's weird. But God is working. And I'm really loving being a part of it.